Hello there, Smite fans. Welcome back. Once again, it's our final game of the evening. Team Dignitas versus Cognitive Prime for the last time here in the 2014 season. My name is hi-rez Bart. That's Scott Gandhi. And, well, this one should be a real barn burner, as they say here in the South.
Yeah, this is going to be a really, really good matchup. As you already said, it's the last time these two teams will play. But more importantly, when you take a look at the standings here, Dignitas has actually passed Cognitive Prime in second place.
They have?
They still are one notch below Cog Red. But Dignitas really, they have been on such a heater.
A tear.
That no one can really answer it. I mean, even when they have a disconnect, they're still able to win 5v4 versus the best team in North America.
And we all know that you never quit on a heater.
You can't.
Well, let's go into the game here and see if Dignitas can translate this momentum into a nice picking and banning phase for themselves as they go up against the boys of Cognitive Prime. Left side of your screen will be Cog Prime. Right side will be Team Dignitas. And, well, first ban coming through shortly from Andenster, the captain of Cognitive Prime.
There's a lot of options both of these teams have for banning, right? On the one side, I'll be very, very surprised if I see Thor get through on either side. I think both Lassus and even looking over to the Cognitive side of things, they both kind of like Thor, so I wouldn't be surprised, but actually Loki going to be the first ban out.
First ban Loki. No one wants to play against that Lassus Loki or, more recently, Zapman's duo lane Loki, which has been very potent for
It's
Cognitive.
got a good wave clear.
Or Dignitas, I'm sorry. Yeah, good wave clear can be matched with a couple different things in a couple different ways and brings a lot of mid-game pressure as well as he begins to roam the map. It's going to be a get ban from Team Dignitas, not wanting to give away that first pick. Wouldn't be surprised to see them ban out something like a Freya or a Rom as their follow-up ban, not wanting to give away, most likely, the Freya to Andy.
Yeah, Freya just does so much damage. I mean, when you have a Freya coming out of the jungle, or even as a hunter, I mean, you have a banish that brings you up in the air, and then even when you single target her, she still goes into Valkyrie's discretion, and then there's no killing her.
But magical damage out of the jungle is just so valuable.
Exactly.
She's really the only one that can do it in a meaningful way. It's going to be a Mercury brand coming out from Prime here. As we mentioned, he is still pre-nerf, I'm sorry, in this patch. And Dignitas, with their final ban expectation, is Freya.
I like how you said that like with a question mark. I like that.
Freya? Yeah, but that would be my expectation here. Is Freya gets banned out. They don't want to give that away first pick.
Yeah.
But if they give away first pick Freya, or they can back it up with a lot of other stuff, and it looks like Dignitas has failed to ban. So we will, I'm sure, they will be telling Cognitive who they banned, and we will be getting an update shortly in our headsets as to actually what that is. But Cognitive now with the first pick.
Yep.
We're going to see what they elect to go for.
Well, I think they're probably going to wait just a little bit here to see what Dignitas actually did ban.
Yeah, we may end up remaking this lobby, guys, so that we get all of the ban stats.
We did it to build the hype
in the chat. So don't be surprised if there's a short delay coming through here. As well, once again, Team Dignitas has managed to break a lobby.
Okay, so
the ban is Thor, but there it is coming through.
The ban is Thor and. Okay, yeah, so that makes sense. Thor getting out of there. That's no real shocker there. I mean, get Thor completely out of there. Both junglers are really, really good with Thor. But it looks like first pick is going to be Ra. Now, this could be a solo Ra. This could be a mid Ra. There's so much versatility you can do with Ra. And that's why we see, mages like Ra and Giannis actually get kind of taken here in this first part because you never really know where they're going to go.
Yeah, and Ra, well, he's just been such a stable presence in whatever lane he's in, and MLC Stealth has played him at a really, really high level, guys. It looks like there will be a remake coming through here of the lobby just because we do have to get those bans together. So you will see a delay here in just a bit. But Ra will still be first pick from Cognitive Prime, and the band still will be Thor, so we do still have that to talk about. And, well, there's a lot of initiation off of the board here. No Geb, no Thor, no Mercury, no Loki. All of them looking to really jump in and pick off a target. And so the Ra makes a lot of sense. On the other side, Dignitas is going to take an Apollo and an Athena. They do like Athena a lot. They run into the jungle sometimes. Hasn't been in some amount of time yet, though, but they take a lot of global presence here with Apollo and Athena.
Yep. We did see Lassus bring Athena into the jungle. He was able to secure a victory with this. But most likely, looking at this already, I mean, with Geb off the tank, Dare to Care, he's got a decent god pull as well in the Guardian role, but, he's at home with Athena. Mm-hmm. So I am assuming this is going to definitely be a Guardian Athena as the option. Oh, okay. So we're going to go ahead and get every...
So, yeah, Apollo and Athena, they bring a lot to the table here, obviously, with that global presence. And, well, we do have to wait just a moment for the rest of the bans to come through. So we'll give you what we can here with this. But Cog Prime, it's probably going to MLC. It doesn't seem to be Omega probably looking for more of that Vamana, would be my guess here in that solo lane to pair with this Ra. The healing of the Ra plus the Vamana % heal in the ultimate helps out quite a bit.
I would love to see a Chang'e.
Chang'e.
We haven't seen her in so long in the SPL, and she does so much damage.
Yeah, she's been out. Yeah, it seems like once every maybe 3 weeks or 2 weeks she'll get a Chang'e. The problem with Chang'e though is that she doesn't have a lot of great matchups that aren't obvious, right? She's really good against healers. And besides that, though, the matchups aren't really stable for her. Yeah. They're all very individual play-based. You have to outplay your opponent to really get ahead in the lane. Also, she's very stuck to her lane until she can rotate and has to use a lot of mana to rotate efficiently, getting the run speed from her abilities. So all things told, Chang'e is definitely it fits into teams, but it really depends a lot on what Dignitas wants to draft for their solo lane. If you do see an Aphrodite for some reason, perhaps a Chalk that's a lot of heal, maybe we'll see the Chang'e.
Aphrodite would be big. Aphrodite is starting to get a lot more play here in the SPL. People realize, as we talked about before, like, she is very, very wanted. The Kiss being there, I mean, there's a lot of damage there, plus sustainability. But I guess the question really is who does Lassus bring into the jungle, right? I would love to see a Hunbats. We haven't seen Hunbats in quite some time.
No,
we know he has a humongous god pool, Lassus does. Yeah. We could see a Hunbats. We could see a Serket. We could see a Kali, a Bastet. I mean, you name it, he's played it. And I wouldn't be surprised if it actually was a Kali.
Kali, yeah, he has been playing it, as you mentioned. Yeah, a lot of Kali, a lot of, recently he's been playing these very assassin-oriented junglers. Nothing new for Lassus, of course. But
no, not at all.
Athena, still possible for the jungle for Lassus, although it has been going to Dare to Care on the team more often than not.
Yeah. Dare to Carry. He's also playing very, very well recently. He's in the right positionings. He's doing a lot for his team, and that's really all you're really looking to get out of your Guardian, anyways.
Well, we are looking at this kind of raw first pick. We should have Cognitive's picks coming through here in just a moment. It looks like everything is getting back underway. So, all things told, the global presence from Dignitas isn't going to be enough to deal with what appears to be, at least with their first pick, a more sustained base comp from Cognitive Prime, although we have seen Ra definitely excel in that full damage roll with the Book of Thoth rush into additional damage items. So, expectations here from Cognitive Prime to follow up this early draft from Team Dignitas. Likely to be looking to pick up their Guardian here as Geb's off the table. Perhaps a Bacchus, perhaps a Sobek for them. Kind of depends on what they're really feeling for Jeff. Guan Yu and Odin also notably available, although not tremendously high priority.
We could see a Kumba as well.
Kumbaya.
I think Jeff Jeff really likes Bacchus, and as everyone knows, Jeff, the Canadian Hinla, is all about stealing.
He's all about maple syrup and stealing.
Yeah, he's all about it, man.
The man has such pride in his country.
Yeah, he loves the Canadians as the hockey team.
Just looking to pick up those loonies and toonies and make a living playing video games, but they are taking a look at that Bacchus here as Cognitive Prime. They haven't locked it in just yet. Probably also looking to pick up their hunter here, Rom's
in
theory is their pick, although they're probably trying to figure out if they want to take a Freya here. She most likely will be getting panned out in the next banning phase. If not, it will be the Rom.
Which would be good as well, because you never know if it's going to be the Freya hunter
Freya, another
as
one of
well.
Swing picks, you're right. Yeah.
But, if we do see a Rom, I wouldn't almost be surprised if we do see, kind of like the flavor right now in Europe is all about grabbing Odin to go with the Rom because of the wave clear, but it is going to be a Bacchus, which I actually like better. Odin's just really, really good early. And you have to get him involved as much as possible, and it really relies solely on hitting a good Ring of Spears.
Well, they are going to take Bacchus Rom, which does give them a good bit of kill potential in this lane, although with the Athena taunt, they should be able to heal fairly effectively. Back on the side of Team Dignitas, they're looking to, finish out their early draft here, and we'll see what they are going to elect into. Taking a look at and locking in Bakasura for Xing there, so one of the gods that Xing's been practicing a lot on, and smartly enough, Dignitas is going to ban out Vamana on top of that to take that away from Omega. I like that a lot. Cognitive Prime in response is going to ban out Nemesis, taking away one of Lassus's premier junglers, and back on the side of Dignitas, that's a snap pick of Giannis to go to their mid lane.
Instant Giannis pick, excuse me. And, Giannis is definitely a player who could have been banned in this scenario as well. A lot of players on Dig are going to be good with that. And no time wasted at all. That's going to be a Bastet locked in as well as a Guan Yu.
So Guan Yu going to be your solo laner here,
yeah.
it looks like. Interestingly enough, Guan Yu, and they're going to be going against Bakasura, so something about the order of those picks indicates to me that they feel like this is a good matchup for Guan Yu.
Yep.
I guess he does have the mobility to escape from Bakasura, and it will be the bots indeed locked in for Team Dignitas on their captain Lassus out of the jungle and brings them their big AoE teamfight presence. He has a lot of ability to cover distance. It has synergy with the Athena ultimate. And all in all, bots a just damage machine, but they will be fighting into the highly mobile Bastet, which is going to be hard to lock down, in addition to those raw heals. Dignitas with the more damage-based lineup. Cognitive over here, well, they come online a little bit later, but once Bastet, Rom, Ra, Guan Yu, they're all kind of on the same target, they're going to go down really, really fast. A lot of pen. A lot of raw damage out of those picks as well. It's going to be a real bruiser, kind of a heavyweight fight here between these teams.
And Hunbat's synergy there with Baka alone. I mean, Fear No Evil coming in on a gank. I mean, Baka's going to be able to lock on and just devour everything in his sight. So that's going to be good as well. But I'm curious as to how Bastet comes out of the jungle. I really think that's my question mark going into this game here for Cognitive Prime.
Well, I haven't seen a lot out of her in recent times. Lassus will pick her up occasionally. Looks like Andy's going to take her here. And, well, Bastet, she does a lot. She's actually quite good against Giannis. A lot of times with Giannis, as an assassin, you're having a hard time keeping him in range to do your damage. Bastet, very dot-focused, so that helps out a lot. Even if he goes through the portals, of course, the dot still does tick us against him. It's hard for him to deal with her. Bastet, I feel like, does pretty well against the Bakasura as well. Able to get in and get out, do the damage to him, and get away before you can turn on her with that true damage and the cripple. And, well, Hunbots is kind of the issue here, though, as well. He has a nice AoE to clear out the cats, the leap of his own, and of course, Fear No Evil to deal with any continued aggression. So, Bastet should be good against most of Dignitas' lineup here. It kind of comes down to, can't you get rolling, similar to Akali in some respects, with can't you find that kill with their first ultimate? That's really what you're looking for. First 3 minutes of the game, Bastet gets a kill with their ultimate, you're off to a good start.
Yeah, you're always in a good spot. And then taking a look at the mid lane here, Stealth taking on Gnaw. Stealth, definitely one of the safest mages we have here in the Smite Pro League. Very, very consistent. Never is like you never watch a game of Cog Prime and be like, Stealth kind of blew
If
that.
only Stealth would have, yeah.
Yeah, it's always like, he did his job.
Yeah,
and then on the other side we have Gnaw.
As Ra, it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, Gnaw often pointed at as the weakest point of Team Dignitas here.
It's like a coin flip with him almost sometimes. Yeah. It's like you never know if you're going to get this amazing mid player, or is it like, where's Gnaw?
Well, he has been playing a lot of Giannis. Almost any time I see his stream on, he is playing this god in the mid lane, so has a lot of practice with it, certainly.
Yep.
Giannis does bring a lot of wave clear once he gets into the higher levels. Of course, he will have to deal with Ra's push a little bit in the early stages of the game, but should be okay about that level 5, level 6 position. And, well, his global is quite potent. And when matched with an Apollo and an Athena, they have tremendous global presence here that really comes down to, can Cog play this one? Really have to play it tight. They have to play a tight game here. Fast and loose is going to get them killed on these rotations. But let's take a look at our players here on the teams as we move once again to the lovely gates of Valhalla here. It is on the left side of your screen, Cognitive Prime. The right side is Team Dignitas.
Yep, and Barracuda, 483 gold per minute. On the right side, he actually leads all players in this game. Last is just a little bit behind him at 480. 69% here for the boys in Dignitas, and then 54 for Cog Prime. Obviously, in the lead changings, that makes sense, but I think Lassus is at home with Hunbats. He's seen very, very good success with him in the past, and you want your captain to feel good going into the game.
Yeah, he's going to definitely rally the team behind him here. As you can see, dare to care. 11 kills to his 146 assists, so he's been pretty effective in that support role. 14 Dignitas, although falling 40 times, just one more than old Shingy Poo, who definitely has struggled here in the Smite Pro League.
Right.
But starting to get more and more success as we move forward here. And when you look over at the side of Cognitive Prime, a lot of it, as you can see, is on the back of Omega. He's been such a good kind of stabilizing force for them out of the solo lane. Top GPM for the team. No big surprise on the solo laner there, but also a nice 45 to 30 kill to death ratio for him. So more often than not, he seems doing well. And of course, Barracuda, 63 kills to the 30 deaths. And well, a lot of that coming on the back of his signature Apollo. But in this game, as you can see, he will be playing that Rom. And well, it's the first game for Andy on Bastet, maybe the first thing to look out there, as well as Guan Yu for Omega. Excited to see how these guys utilize these new picks.
And, we're seeing at the top here, Ra, 0% with him. So he hasn't found pay dirt with him just yet. His gold per minute at 390, which is quite alarming for Ra, who can pretty much.
But it looks like that was in that one game, he went 2-10. So
yeah, he didn't have fun that game.
A little tough to farm up there. And well, I believe that's the game against Cock Red they played it, where they picked it away from Boosh, I think. And obviously they struggled there. But here, Stealth can be taking Ra, and well, he can be quite good with Ra. We've seen it before, and obviously their sister team plays a lot of Ra, so they have a good amount of practice against it and with it, I would assume.
Yeah, and just thinking back on that graphic screen right there, Jeff Hinla, 163 assists. He leads all players in the game, which, that's kind of like the story of Cog Red and Cog Prime, right? Like, their Guardians are amazing, and their Hunters are just as good.
Yeah, their dual lanes definitely seem to be the strength, but in both cases, the team has any number of players that can really make your a life hell, right? Like if the dual lane is kind of that core where they're just so strong that they're almost unbeatable in the lane. But then it's like Omega can beat you, Divios can beat you, Andy can beat you, Gars can beat you. They all have this really, really big presence, and of course, obviously, Boosh and Stealth have had plenty of their impact on their share of the game. So, well, with that, guys, we're moving into the game here, and as you can see, it's Cognitive Prime in the blue versus Team Dignitas in the red. To introduce your teams quickly here, it's Barracuda matching up with with Jeff Hinla in the dual lane as Ram and Bacchus. Andy in the jungle as Bastet. MLC Stealth will be your mid lane Ra, and finally that leaves Omega for the solo lane as Guan Yu. Dignitas drafting a very global-based lineup here with a lot of damage. Xing in the solo lane is Bakasura. Na will be your mid lane Giannis. Daredekar and Zapman will be combining for the duo lane as Athena and Apollo. And finally, it will be Lassus the captain in the jungle as Hunbots.
Yeah, and he's actually electing to go tier 1 boots with hand 1 with 1 pot each. So he's looking to do a lot of basically creep clears and really just camp splits with his team, which is going to be good because camp splitting is going to be really, really important for them. So it looks like they're going to probably aim to have this game drag on just a little bit. Just looking at, I mean, they are really late game based. But the question I was going to have that I had for you was Omega starting off with the heavy hammer. Guan Yu has a lot of different starts he can do. Why do you think he elected to go with the heavy hammer?
I think it's just parity versus the Baka. He can be pretty certain the Bakasura is going to pick it up, and it just kind of allows him to go toe-to-toe with him a little bit more. They can trade in hands a bit more, although not something that Guan Yu is going to be looking to do, certainly as Bakasura does with the true damage on his side.
We're actually seeing Dignitas start all the way at the back Harpies, so now they're going to go back Harpies.
Oh, they're going to get invaded,
speed.
Though. Their blue is going to get taken. I think they spotted this out, and they should be able to close the distance, although they don't have the Devour. There's the double hog actually coming out right away, and that camp just gets obliterated and goes to the side of Cognitive, and they're going to fall back. There we go, Omega. A nice advantage there.
Small victory here coming out of Cognitive Prime, as that's big, too. I mean, that's just kind of doing your research. I'm not sure if we ever see any teams really starting that back Harpies.
Yeah, no, they were looking to really exploit the Devour minion aspect of Bakasura, giving him that added clear to the camps. It should have gotten him to lane at roughly the same time that it normally would. But here, keeping track of it and really understanding what Dignitas could do with this lineup, Cognitive comes through and finds themselves a big steal. Now it's going to be Bakasura who's going to look to follow suit. Going to the backside camps, using the hog, trying to get the auto text in time. Does he have Devour? Will it come out, or he's going to pay with his life here? He's going to Devour the minion, take the blue buff away, and look to find his way back. He's going to leap over the wall. He's going to take a lot of damage. Omega dashing through. Beautiful Jolly box there. As Omega's in so much of a good position here.
Is he going to live this?
Force back out. Anderson jumping back through. They need one more cooldown to kill him. It doesn't matter what it is. Lassus is going to fall as well. And Dignitas is throwing this early solo lane away. The slow hits, and this is a death. Dashing forward is Omega. Can he find it? There is the ching, 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 and down goes Xing.
Yeah, and that was actually really good by Anderson to go and attack that creep wave first because Omega really didn't want to take any extra damage. But already we're taking a look. Almost 1,000 gold difference here in favor of Cognitive, as well as almost 900 experience. It is early, so it's not too big of a deal. But when you're looking at a lane matchup here, especially solo, Omega, getting a piece of that with a kill and an assist, he's going to be able to come back and have that item advantage. That's huge.
Small misplay there by Omega, though. Using his heal to heal up his minions, which means that less of this waves of minions are going to die. Granted, it does give him this early free back, but he doesn't actually strip a lot of experience away from Xing. Only one wave instead of a wave and a half, which, well, it could be the breaking point of this game.
And Stealth, a very, very quick rotation coming out of him. He's looking to get involved. He does have Searing Pain on the line. Is he going to go for the snipe? He's actually already in lane, and now Anderson's going to spot Na, who's going to rotate over as well. He's going to open up a portal, kind of head back there, and now Stealth's going to rotate back, but he does have to be careful because there is a Lassus.
Lassus is trying to make a play here on this buff, but I'm not sure if he was expecting to have this many members of COG here. Na is here as well, of course, but, well, Jeff Hinla and Barracuda are rotating, and where do you go from here? Na taking a lot of damage. And
they have to give that up.
Yeah, they got to give this one up, and it's going to go the way of Cog. Oh, do they even need to hog it? It doesn't even look like they're going to try to hog it. Lassus may try to make a play here, but
Xing's coming behind him.
Xing's rotated, but what is he really going to do with this now? He's way out of position. He's giving away a tremendous amount once again to Omega, who's already behind in this lane. Oh man, Guan Yu, and well, here's the dangerous part of Guan Yu is that Guan Yu's ultimate is the single highest physical damage ability in the entire game if you hit all of your attacks. So look out for Guan Yu because he's going to bring the hurt.
Oh, he's actually going to rotate over here. He's going to be a little bit late to the party. He's not going to be able to get a piece of this. But the cavalry is going to be there. The portal's going to open up. Everyone's going to go ahead and get away. Dignitas able to come out on that one unscathed.
That is a early 1,300 and gold and 2,000 experience lead for Cognitive here. And can they transition this early game into the mid-game win? If they can find a Gold Fury with this kind of momentum going, if they can get that objective secured, or take this tower in the solo lane where Bakasura has been pretty held, that should be enough to open the game up for them.
And looking at this, Andenser actually elected to go with Beads 1 here. So he's just going to play it a little bit safe. He doesn't want to deal with the CC that he will inevitably be hit with, from Athena or the Mesmerize from Apollo or really just anything. Hunbats, Fear No Evil. They have a lot of CC.
Yeah, it's probably primarily that Fear No Evil in the Gnaw portals that he wants to evade. Doesn't want to get held in position for too long because he's so mobile with the leap that it also affords him the opportunity to leap in, dump his spells, use beads, and get back out if he gets CC'd on that initial leap. So all things told, it's a great item that helps out Bastet a tremendous amount at any stage of the game, just being able to shed off a CC and really benefit from that high mobility.
Andenster's actually kind of been babysitting mid just a little bit more than we're used to seeing. I mean, Stealth, he has gone into CDR boots here. He's going to have the cooldown reduction, which is going to be good. The question is he going to go full CDR? Is he going to build the Chronos Pendant next? Traditionally, we won't see that out of mid-Ros, but it could happen.
Yeah, it might be a Book of Thoth still to follow this up here. It just gives such good damage and that massive amount of basically unlimited mana once you have the item fully built. But no, I think a lot of the reason why you see Andy spending some time around the mid lane here is just because the solo lane is so heavily won already. Like, Omega has such an advantage in terms of just individual gold farm here. 3,700 net worth, Xing about 500 behind, that they don't really need to pressure Xing here. Like, they don't need to make sure that he stays down. They can really focus on trying to keep this Giannis from being able to itemize effectively and continue to steal the red buffs and things like that.
Yeah, and I finally like the experience is starting to chip away. The Dignitas is trying to chip away at it, but they really need to come out on top on this next team fight. And Omega is not going to leave this lane. And Lassus is going to be coming around for a gank. He's not going to find anything there. He's just going to kind of help push the wave, and things are going to head back to normal.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it is all going to go down here for Team Dignitas. As you can see, they are playing this one pretty conservatively, pinned down behind the tower. Xing the only one past the midway mark there.
And Barracuda, he's got his wave pushed up so far. And Kuda's been such a very, very good hunter, especially in North America. He's arguably the best hunter we have. And he's always consistent. He's always in good positions. And the one thing you got to notice about Barracuda is that he always picks the perfect fights to get into. He's always either in lane unless he uses his judgment.
Yeah, Barracuda is, I mean, we kind of say this a lot anytime Cog is around, but Barracuda just is this, like, very similar to Stealth, right? They kind of have the same temperament, it feels like, as a player. Let's hold that thought. There's a little bit of aggression over here at the right side, but Andy, it doesn't look like there's going to be too much going on the back of that one. No, it does take some harass, but nothing too much. And, well, we have a pretty ponderously paced game. We have ultimates coming out in the solo lane, but nothing cooking there as Omega's going to actually take a lot of damage from those minions. The minions don't actually give you anything, so curious to see him farm those up. But that's he's going to survive, and he's actually going to hold lane positioning for now. Red buff coming back online shortly here from the boys of Dignitas. Zapman is going to be forced to use an ultimate here shortly as he sees the gang squad coming through. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. There's he'll be coming out. The snipe comes through. Is it enough damage? It is not. That Athena damage reduction was enough to keep him alive. So well played by the Athena, but I feel like they should have seen that one coming. They knew the rotation was coming around the red buff there. And, well, once again, Cognitive is going to pressure this red buff and push Gnaw off the mark, force the portal out, and Lassus is stuck at his XP camp, thinking about trying to steal this one with a tossed monkey, but to no avail.
Yeah, and they're doing an excellent job. They're basically taking Gnaw out of the game for having any extra damage, as well as basically saying, Lassus, you can have fun just staying on, the other side of the jungle. This is ours. And what's going to be interesting to see is what Omega actually does with his build going up against Ibaka, right? I mean, he had that advantage, and Ibaka almost was able to take him out. You could see a Runeforged Hammer coming out of him. Just extra protections, a lot of extra health, and just mitigating damage. But with the fact that he has Iron Mail on the line,
it's going to be Mystical Mail.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Old school Guan Yu build. Of course, it did used to start with the Mystical Mail, rank 2, and build into it right away. But he's going to pick that one up. Just Guan Yu is just such a nasty presence to have in the team fight. He's a healer. He brings a lot of pen to the table. He has slows. He has a really nice initiation ultimate. And he's going to stick around because he's pretty beefy. And when you get that Mystical Mail, it just does so much damage. It's so easy to misjudge how much it does to you. And with his pen stripping armor away, it helps even more so with that damage.
Jeff Henless still having hand 1. Everyone actually in the game still having hand 1. Not a whole lot of money being spent on actives. A lot of money going towards, though, here in Dignitas. you're looking at a lot of gold just basically sitting there. They really need to start getting control of their jungle. They've lost 2 consecutive red buffs now.
Yeah, you know, they're warding fairly defensively here for that exact rotation, but still did give it away. So, you know, how do you rectify that? And well, Dignitas' answer is to slow down the pace of the game here. They realize that they have really lost this early game, and they're going to just try to safely farm up the lanes. They do get stronger as the game goes on. They will outscale Cognitive eventually. That's one thing Cognitive does not have is a late game hyper carry. The closest they have to that is going to be Rom, but you know, Hunters, generally speaking, are all going to pan out around the same time with the same amount of damage. Apollo will edge out Barracuda later on. In everything but the 1v1, where the added hitbox from the Astral Arrows does make that duel a bit in favor of Rom, I want to say. But all things told, Gnaw, Zapman, Lassus will all scale much more aggressively in the late game than anybody on the side of Cog.
Left Harpies are coming up, so is right Harpies there, which Baka is going to get a piece of as well. Barracuda is going to return to his lane. He's got a big wave ahead of him that he can just kind of eat and soak up that experience. Most likely, he's just going to push that wave as we're going to see Dare to Care get a little bit aggressive here. Stealth is going to be called out. He needs that heal down. Raw ult still online. Is he going to go for it? He barely misses that. And now in comes Zapman across the sky doing his damage, and now they're back in this game as the cavalry is going to be called.
Zapman's going to get stunned out here. They have the follow-up. The burp's coming through. He's going to mez out the burp, and, well, Rom ultimate not going to be enough to secure any kills here. Dignitas does find themselves a nice one.
Oh, they might get another one.
Andy, not sure what he was doing there, but he gets just destroyed quickly by the taunt into shield wall with a So Beautiful on top of it. They find extra 2 kills, evening out the game. They bring back the gold and experience lead to a negligible amount, under about 1,000 for both of those. Only thing they're unable to secure here for Dignitas, and when you normally see these kind of kills in the mid lane, is a Gold Fury in the back of this, but just unable to make that happen for themselves. But you did see there how powerful Fear Noble can be in those gank attempts, but they dump a lot of ultimates out onto that Raw and weren't able to actually secure the kill onto their primary target there. So, or it did, but it came after another ultimate, which was used 3 or 4, I want to say, used just to take down that Raw, and, well, he is just now working into his, what should be a Warlock stash here.
Yeah, there's no reason for him to build into anything else. And E-Staff at this point, he's not going to get too much stacking out of that right away. It's not going to really synergize with anything else he has built, so it should be a Warlocks into maybe an E-Staff if he wants to go for a little bit of a tankier approach. But Warlocks is traditionally what we will be seeing out of him. But, you know, he targeted Athena with his ultimate, and Raw ults are very, very tough, especially with the Searing Pain. You know, it is a humongous skill shot. But he's got to really deliver on that.
Yeah, that definitely, just missing that one there could have turned that fight around in their favor, but instead Andy comes through to try to pick up that kill and gets CC'd to death. Shing, solo lane, he's losing a lot of damage to the tower, definitely being won by Omega, no question there. I mean, after that start, pretty hard not to drop that one.
Chilling in the cut.
But, you know, chin size coming together for Shing here.
Hey, wow, that's a lot worse than I thought. Stealth only doing 747 player damage.
Wow. Oh, how the tables have turned. I mean, this is very similar to that first Raw performance we saw at Gnaw, where he just couldn't find any damage for the life of him. And, well, granted, the team fights haven't really been something that Stealth can participate in yet. They haven't really coalesced, but still, you know, not finding a damage on the Giannis in the lane is no big surprise, but you expect at least in that last team fight him to put out a bit more. Lassus is here. It's not going to come through. Just away by the captain. Dignitas' Lassus now leaping out of there. He's going to try to make it out alive. There comes his ultimate to keep them in line, and there's no snipe on Stealth. Rom may take to the sky and look for a snipe here sooner or later, but just going to need to clean up Zapman there, it looks like here. Zap gets caught out 1v1 by Barracuda, and this will open the game up for Cog. The Funeral Uber ultimate is down. It's just Gnaw here able to contest this. There's an Athena as well, using through space and time, coming in as well. Can they push them off of the Gold Fury here? No, it's not enough to peel. Dare to Care's there now. The reset has not come out. Cats are used. Dare to Care starting to fall quickly to Andy. It's just going to be enough to knock him off of the mark. The Gold Fury is still not reset. Where is the Bacchus? There he is. Jeff Finland's there. Gnaw cleans up Andy. Gold Fury does go to Cog. Dare to Care falls as well. That's a 2-for-1 trade.
Shing,
into the Gold Fury. Shing going to make some plays on a Barracuda. He's going to find them Stealth in trouble as well as Gnaw continues to be unchecked in this fight. Down will go Shing for the double kill for Omega. Can they chase down Gnaw as well here? Dashing through is Omega. Over the top is Lassus, however, but he ports right back through that portal placed by Gnaw to bail himself out. Omega now with a triple kill. Lassus getting spread out by the burp. Lassus may be going down. Omega looking for the quadra here. Can he find it? It's going to take one more cooldown. Lassus, is he going to die? He will indeed. Quadra kill for Omega. And now Zapman comes crashing back in, but he's not going to get a kill off of this. Bacchus likely to be too tanky. He may try to chase someone down, but Jeff, that one miss is going to be enough for Zapman not to dive. Omega with a delayed quadra in that fight. And if you thought Guan Yu wasn't going to have a good time in the mid-game, at 5-0 with a Mystical Mail at 13 minutes, he's going to be A-OK. He'll have a Jotun's Wrath up as well shortly.
the Mystical Mail on him already, plus he's already got the mace. He can go into a Jotun's with this. He can do a Titan's Bane. Most likely we're not going to see a Brawler's Beatstick coming out of him, but I wouldn't mind to see a Titan's Bane coming off of him.
Oh, it'll be Jotun's most likely. He doesn't have any cooldown in his kit yet. The mana will help him out a bit as well, so he'll likely be building into that.
Ooh.
Titans at this point would just give him kind of additional damage versus structures and objectives. Not so much against the players at this point.
Well, this is not completely unusual for professional players. It's a little bit unusual. The Executioner coming out as the second item here on Bakasura.
Yeah, you know, it's been, I feel like, a more traditional build on Baka recently, but in this game I was expecting the chin size going up against Omega in the soul lane. It would have perhaps been a bit better, but with the Guan Yu stealing protection is away, obviously it helps, you know, settle the score, so to speak. There's a bit of initiation over the left side near the, I'm sorry, in the right side just off of the mid lane here, but
That's
doesn't seem to be
down.
much cooking there, and yeah, an ultimate is used. And well, if you saw it in the solo lane there, anytime Omega's in that lane, Shin cannot be anywhere near the creep wave because he just takes way too much damage from the Mystical Mail. So that's he's in a tough position certainly here. Jeff Hinla, well, he's gonna get CC'd out a bit, but
he's
a
drunkenly
very, very
falls down a
large man.
portal.
Lassus leaping back towards his team, not looking for the plays just yet. They don't have the setup, and well, Rom is rolling in this game as well, which is going to make it fairly difficult for Zapman to stay in this lane. So all things told, Dignitas have started to lose their lanes now, but again, they still have that more powerful late game.
Yep, well, and let's go ahead and, speaking of our hunters, let's go ahead and take a look at them. Barracuda, 3.9, kills, deaths, and assists average. On the right side, Zapman from Dignitas is going to have a 3.1, 69% for him, 57 for Barracuda. All things considered, besides kills and deaths, I mean, they're pretty much neck and neck.
Yeah, it's been.
And we hold Barracuda at a very high level.
Yeah, I mean Zapman even with a higher win-loss rate
Yeah.
for Dignitas there. But yeah, they're fairly even here. As you can see, KDA slightly in favor of Barracuda. No big surprise there as we kind of do hang him on his laurels of being such a safe player. Zapman pretty much as far on the other side of the spectrum as you can get. Hyper aggressive,
right?
And has a few more deaths to his credit,
which makes him a little bit more fun to watch in its own regard, right?
Sure.
Because it's like, oh, he's gonna get all up in there, and Baka actually finally returning there. That tower is just barely holding on. It's about 2 or 3 auto attacks from Omegatron for being taken out, as that is going to be the heavy mace, so it is going to be going into the Jotuns.
Dare to Care does have his shallow line as well, which means this next team fight from Dignitas is going to be pretty powerful. However, Sovereignty has finished Jeff Hinla as a result of that, so they will lose out of the aura, but they will have the more powerful active going into it. Jeff, of course, has not itemized into his active yet. Naw has gone for max CDR and will be building into an Obsidian Shard.
No shocker.
These 3 items here, Obsidian Shard plus cooldown boots plus the Chronos Pendant, seem to be perhaps the most cost-efficient damage you can get. Obviously, it doesn't bring the same kind of late-game presence that something like a Book of Tothrush will, but his damage spike at the time of completion will be very, very nice for the team, and he will end up probably putting out the most damage on top of being Giannis with this build.
Yeah, Giannis getting just so many more unstable vortexes out onto the field just forces so much more damage.
Yeah, more ults, more
through
burst.
space times, more escapes, more everything.
Yeah, more thresholds as well, giving him that.
It's basically
that
more plays.
Speed.
Yeah, it's just having more plays.
Yeah, it can make more plays more often, certainly. Yeah, and reposition in those fights. I mean, it does a lot for him to have max ADR.
And that's what's going to be interesting to see what Stealth does. Taking a look, Stealth only has 311 in hand because he decided to finish Beads 3 for the cooldowns, for, you know, getting out of CC and everything like that. So good job playing a little bit safe. It is going to be interesting to see what he could do. He could do an E-Staff. We could see maybe even a Bancrofts if he wants to get Froggy. I don't know what direction he wants to take.
Well, let's talking about builds here. Let's take a look over at Xing, and well, going back to that Brawler's Beatstick, that could be what you see coming out of their soul laner there. You have an initiation in the mid lane. Naw, going to take some damage from the belly flop into the raw snipe, but not enough to bring him down. However, it looks like Cog wants to get aggressive here, putting the dot out on the Lassus. It does, however, miss. They're going to push the wave in, but they're not going to be able to follow it up with much. Right side solo is going to fall, though, as Guan Yu pushes that wave in and then rotates over roughly the same time as Xing. And yeah, kind of going back to Xing, this could be an early beat stick from him. Cog is going to be baiting out the Gold Fury. You're absolutely right there. Lassus not going to get stunned out, but they are going to pile on to Dare to Care, and well, he's in some trouble. Oh no, Omega's going to dash forward, actually, put the damage out on the Naw, force him into an awkward spot, stunning him out right in front of the portal. The burst from Raw comes through, down goes Naw. Taking the skies now is Zapman wanting to finish this one up, but where can he crash in? Only into 5 members of Cognitive, and well, not even Zapman has the chutzpah to go for the, I lied. There he goes.
Oh no, he's got the balls to do that, man.
In he goes. The Gold Fury does still go towards Cognitive, however, here, as you can see it. Dare to Care He's getting zoned out by Jeff, and well, he's going to have to find something big here in just a moment. There's the Intoxic coming out, making it very difficult to get in position. Belly flop, damage coming through. There's a Fear No Evil. Can anyone find it? Dignitas does get the Gold Fury there. Ultimate from Barracuda's enough to find at least one kill. Shing doing a lot of damage. MLC Stealth and Jeff Hindla finds one kill. It's a 2-for-1 trade right now. Dignitas dropping 2, but picking up the Gold Fury. If they lose another one here, though, it's going to start not going in their favor. Shing in some trouble. Does he have another leap available? He does not, indeed.
That's a tower.
And that should be a Tier 1 for Cog. A consideration of the Fire Giant perhaps as well, but it is going to be the Tier 1 here. And they're going to take that
You
happily.
can tell they thought about it.
Yeah, they got to make sure not to trade against Zapman here, though, on the left side. Don't want to give up a Tier 1. But they did take the Tier 1 in the right before that. So at the end of the day, it ends up being a net for Dig, as they are, it looks like, going to take out that Tier 1.
Now, taking a look at that last team fight, I mean, we saw how much damage Bakasura can do really as soon as he gets his hands on it. As you're taking a look, he's got a 58% win rate here in the SPL. On the other side, Guan Yu, 60% here.
Through space of time, doing a lot of damage there. Naw's going to rotate over as well, but I doubt they can find much damage. Going to slow down Jeff Hindla. With no tower
They're
there, he
with
should
that.
be dead. And yeah, down he goes. They'll find the support, but they won't be able to capitalize on it very much with no Gold Fury available.
And taking a look at the charts real quick, gold difference is going to be 2,300 in favor of Cog, and then as well as experience at 4,200 in favor of Cognitive Prime as well. Annenster actually going into Shifter Shield here on Bastet as his next item.
Yeah, Basset scales really best off of raw physical power. Dare to Care takes a lot of damage there from that raw snipe, but he is going to be channeled away to safely. Safety, nah, he may get ulted here by Guan Yu. No, they're just going to force him to port away, and well, Cog continues to really rule the jungle here.
Yeah, and they're still trying to aggress. They're looking for anyone they can find.
There's 9 players on the left side, and there's one lonely Shing on the right side.
Well, which is exactly what Shing wants. Shing's like, I'll take the free gold and the experience. I'll probably take this tower as well.
He wants the tower here. Will he ult for it is the question.
He
does
could
have it available, but it doesn't look like it, and he will get it down in theory before Bacchus gets here. Yeah, he'll
and even if Bacchus gets there, he's not even going to bat an eye at it.
Yeah,
Jeff's just going to go ahead and rotate back as...
Well, they trade. However, on the left side, does Cog 3-manning down the Tier 1 on the left, and well, they're not done just yet. They want to force out these rotations from Dignitas, and they have this ward right on top of Athena, so they can see her coming on the backside. Barracuda, he's not too interested in trying to deal with her. They're going to turn on to Dare to Care.
Wow, both
that Mystical Male doing a tremendous amount of damage there. Shell coming out, but it's going to be a bit too early as they realize Dare to Care has no more escapes. Lassus can leap over the wall, but they're going to take him down. Omega going to heal himself back up, but with his 3 buff active, had plenty of protections there to deal with the tower, and you can see those heals starting to really add up. In the meantime, they do
their
not
source
check
of damage
Shing.
has been in the mid.
Shing does find a Tier 2 on the right as well, but it's going to be a Phoenix pushing out from Cog, and well, this is a trade they'll take. They're going to back off, however, as Giannis does come through. But without that Fear No Evil, there's no real hope of initiation from Dignitas.
Yeah, and that entire time...
Except for Zapman, once again, going to ult down into multiple members of Cog. And he's going to try to make plays here. He needs to find the Mez. They're going to go to Barracuda. That's their target. But here's Jeff Hindla. And this belly flop could turn in the turnaround. But no, he's just going to zone him out with the burp. Last is still going to port forward, but not until Omega dashes away. Zapman pops his sprint. Dignitas uses a lot to try to get something out of this counterattack, but they're not going to find much at all. And
they have to
Zapman
be careful.
may need to resign himself with a speed buff. But no, here comes MLC Stealth. And well, no speed buff for you, Zap, as Andy comes through and hogs that one up. So Cog continues to hold their map and their positioning around it.
Well, they definitely want to delay this fight as well, just because Stealth has used both actives to stay alive in the mid lane due to the aggression from Apollo in that last scenario and Giannis. Meanwhile, Derek Hare does have to calm down.
Lannister in some trouble here. Not a crit coming out from Lassus, though. Zapman comes through with the So Beautiful as the tower does go down. And Dignitas, well, they got something out of that, but they're taking a lot of damage from that Rom ultimate. In fact, Shing and Lassus both falling to about half health there. And, that's going to force them back for now. And again, with no Gold Fury up, Dignitas was looking for a fight. They found their fight. They found their pick, but they can't capitalize on it. They get the Tier 1, but they've lost a lot to get there. But they've kept this game really competitive. Even though the momentum is seemed very favored to Cog, this one is really tight at 1,500 gold separating the teams and only 3,000 experience. Players starting to hit level 20 here shortly. Omega's going to be the first one there, and, well, he is going to be impossibly tanky if he finishes off the Silver Talisman.
Yeah, you shouldn't even look at him, and he's got Heavenly Agility online as well. I think what's really hurting Cog right now in their team fight scenarios is the fact that Stealth elected to finish out both of his actives before getting any other damage online. I mean, granted, he has been stacking up on the Warlocks, but, being the only mage on the team, you want to have that burst damage there as much as possible.
He's put out a pretty respectable 12,500 damage. Omega just ahead with 13k. A lot of that coming on the back of the Mystical Male. So even though he did have that rough start,
Stealth has only done 5,000.
Sorry?
Stealth has only done 5,000.
Was I reading his healing? I was reading his. No, I was reading Andinser's player damage. Still putting out only 6k. You're right. Yeah, Andy at 12.5k there. So Andy really carrying the weight for this team. Andy and Omega, of course. Barracuda putting out a lot. 11,000 of his own. A lot of that, once again, coming on his ultimate as well. So,
yeah.
But that mystical mail for Omega is paying dividends here, as Hindu would say. And well, it's looking like this is a game that's going to be going late. As we kind of mentioned at the start, it feels a little bit like a heavyweight battle.
It does.
Kind of the squads they've picked. And, well, this one looks like we're going to be going late, boys.
Oh, yeah. Just strap in, get your cans of soda pop. I think that's what kids call it these days. I don't know.
No, you're in Atlanta now. It's called a Coke.
Oh. Yeah, it's a Coke. I'll have a Coke.
What kind of Coke would you like?
I don't know. Barracuda going to go ahead and zone one out. As, you know, Omegatron's just waiting. He wants this to get out of this stage. He wants every lane to kind of be done. He wants no towers just so he can push wherever he wants. And we haven't really seen a grouping yet, as Jeff Hinla is going to spot Dare to Care. He's got to be careful. Intoxicate's going to come down, knocking up 2 players. Lash is going to take a little bit of damage, but nothing crazy, as Bach is going to go ahead and initiate with Regurgitate.
Shing ults, but it's a little bit too late. Andy already jumped. Now Shing forced to bail out through space and time is there. Snipe coming through, doing a lot of damage to Non. Non, a lot of trouble. The ultimate blast is here, but it feels like it's just to bail the team out as the damage comes piling in. Zatman crashing out as well, but Dare to Care is going to be one to fall here.
There goes there.
As MLC Stealth actually getting credit for that kill.
Look
And
at
well,
healing.
even though they all pile in on top of Cog there and try to make it happen, they're going to lose a Fire Giant for this. Zatman's going to try to solo down the Gold Fury to get anything out of it, but with their tank down, this is free. And that's why you don't try to initiate on the box.
Well, Shing does have hand 3. I don't know if he's going to try to make a play. I mean, this is going to get burned down so fast. He's basically has to watch this, and he's going to walk over a ward as well. So he's just going to go ahead and give up. He knows that this is completely gone, and that's really big for Cognitive Prime here. I mean, now they're going to go back. They're going to buy a little bit, and then they're just going to just push down every single lane. And they've already done such good damage to the towers as it stands.
With no ultimate available for Satman, forced to recall there instead of trying to pressure this tier 2. And well, you know, he's not going to spread the map out and make room for his team to farm given that. However, he does get the Gold Fury off of it, plus push the wave in, get some wave advantage if nothing else. MLC Stealth has finished off his double stacking, Warlocks and Toth, so going to start getting that online. Barracuda has beat Zatman to crit, but has now lost to the second short sword coming through there. I'm sorry, hidden dagger coming through there. So Zatman with slightly higher crit chance. Shifter shield done on Andy, but still being worked on by Lass. And well, it's gonna be a tough solo kill for Lasses.
He as soon as you finish the sentence, he was able to finish it out.
But now he's behind a mallet. So
yep, he is. There you go. There you go.
He's behind something. Damn
it. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. And a bulwark coming up for Omega. So he is going to be an absolute nightmare.
There's just no way.
Yeah, you're just going to look at it.
Yeah, there's just no way.
It's like a boulder.
Yeah, there's no way they're going to kill him in these fights without 5-manning him, or just ridiculous Giannis damage late game, just going right through that bulwark. But well, it's a pestilence from Dare to Care as well to try to start dealing with this raw heal, and they don't have any other anti-heal coming out just yet. Shink that actually elected an early Titan's Bane, not that Brawler Speed Stick, and has gone a Witchblade on top of it as well. So very in-hand focus build, which obviously makes quite a bit of sense when you're Fakasura, and you do so well with your in-hands.
Right? Yeah, you really do. Yeah, I mean, you got razors.
And really, this Titan's Bane build in the physical protection, I mean, it's a little bit of a backdoor build here. Titan's Bane early generally means you're going to be trying to do objective or structure damage. Or you want to get through a Mystical Mail. One of the two.
Yeah, it's basically the Mystical Mail. Barracuda actually going to spot 2 players. He's going to force out a portal there. They're going to be able to cut that one down. Are we going to see the rotation over to the short lane is the question. I think they're just going to keep pressing this down, though. And Dignitas has to make an initiation here soon.
Well, they're going to try to have Zatman split push here, but no, they're going to cancel. They're going to call that one off as he's going to ult.
Oh.
The Phoenix has not gone down just yet. Rom is up in the air doing a lot of damage to Lassus. Andy's right on top of him as well. The fight continues on. Zatman crashing down, going to make some space for the team in the fight. Anderson trying to bail out. Zatman wants to chase him down. Will find it indeed. Barracuda is going to try to do the same as well. It's active. That's an easy kill for him. They trade 1 for 1 there, but one of the hunters has gone down, which means all that split push threat is gone. Cog can pile right back in. Oh, that's a double knock up there from Bach. Dare to Care in a lot of trouble. Dare to Care to fall as well. Portal not going to be enough to stop Barracuda. And I don't think Cog has enough to push into the base yet, but they certainly have broken it, taking the first Phoenix of the game, and they can rotate to the left side as well. Fire Giant buff still active.
Yeah, and the big thing right now is Dare to Care is still on the sidelines for 30 seconds.
And Omega is enormous. Like, how do you stop Omega at this point?
I don't know. That's the thing that's scary.
Look at that.
Everyone in the solo lane, I mean, like, you're looking at counter builds, you're looking at if they get ahead, what do you do? And they're just so tanky. Dignitas just can't answer.
Yeah, not only was the Titan, plus Shing, and Lassus were beating on Omega, and he still did not die.
Yep.
Megatron tanking his way to victory there, putting out a great performance. 9-0-8 on Guan Yu. Those of you that stuck with him through the thick and thin on Smite Pro League Fantasy have just paid out in spades. As their often maligned solo laner for his fringe kind of bad mannered play, a lot of taunting, a lot of kind of almost more your bailiwick, a little more of that console shooter kind of attitude.
Don't you belittle me.
But here he really brings it through. And Omega 9-0-8 on Guan Yu, 15,000 gold farmed, 541 GPM, and almost 17,000 player damage right there behind Barracuda. Truly a standout performance from him. And well. And all he did was do the right things, right?
Right.
They got a double kill early on. The lane was won. He itemized very, really, really smartly. And you can see here, let's go ahead and pull up this clip here. I'm sure we have it. The quadra kill from Omega. I can't imagine that this is any other clip. But you can see this is right as the mystical mark comes out. And he just does exactly what we thought he might, which is he just stays in the fight forever. And, well, here it comes. The Gold Fury starts and dashes forward, takes the cavalry charge, and there's one kill. That one was for free.
Yeah, that one's soft.
He doesn't get the stun, but then, look at this. He's like, which way do I go? The fight breaks out. There's Xing, but here comes the damage as the in-hands come through. There's a Talu Assault, and then, well, nah.
Look at that.
This is really awkward. Look, Lassus jumps over here and goes back through the portal. The final hit does kill off Nah. The kill on the Lassus comes a bit later here, but it does go to the credit of Omega as well. And as you can see, that mystical male just chunks down Lassus, and Lassus unable to find a crit that's going to give him some room in that fight. That's kind of what you're looking for when you're playing Hunbots, is that one good crit to come out that, like, that makes him think for a second, so you make some room for yourself to get away. Didn't happen there. Wouldn't have mattered anyway. Mystical Male chunks him down, and it did a tremendous amount of damage.
And I think COG did the right thing, right? Like, all their carries, I mean, they had the jungle, they had Ra, and they had Rama all build beads very, very early. So Fear No Evil made no change at all.
Yeah, it didn't do much in those fights.
It didn't do
Only
anything.
That first gank did it actually even set anything up, and it wasn't off of the Fear No Evil at all. It was purely just the extended dive into the tower that picked up the Ra. But Cognitive Prime does. Not only do they defeat Dignitas in their final matchup of the Pro League, they also will stop that win streak right in its tracks. 9 and done, our team Dignitas, but still in a pretty good position to make it to the playoffs, no question there. However, looking pretty good there was Prime. I mean, that Guan Yu. Whew.
Guan Yu looks really good, but I think we do have the schedule for you guys for tomorrow's SPL matches.
Woo. Coming
up here in the European side of things, as per usual, which is going to come up here in just a second here, but 1 o'clock EDT.
It's funny, we're usually waiting on the Americans, not the Europeans.
Right.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Starting at 1:30 p.m. EST. Thursday is going to be 2:30 p.m. EST for SK Gaming versus Coast. So opening up the show tomorrow, XX versus Mortality. That should be a damn good game, followed by SK Gaming and Coast. Both of them looking to really keep their playoff berth alive. Thirst and Fat Chunks on Thursday night is going to be your North American matchup. And finally, it'll be Cognitive Red versus Snipe to close out the day tomorrow. So a lot more great Smite to come over the next couple of days, ladies and gentlemen. However, that will conclude our broadcast for the evening. If you missed it, Face Off should be up on YouTube later today. And that is going to do it for North America. We'll be back tomorrow starting at 1:30 Eastern Standard Time with coverage of the European games. Thank you very much for joining us, for all the players, admins, hosts, and commentators. We appreciate your patronage of the Smite Game stream. For Scott Gandhi, I'm hi-rez Bart, and we'll see you next time here on the Smite Pro League.